Why did all the BTS members cry during this moment? The moment when BTS Taehyung and Jungkook finished performing on the Netflix arirang album, performing the song Swim, all the other BTS members were seen crying. BTS felt very proud of Taehyung and Jungkook for introducing their love to the world and for remaining highly professional in pursuing their careers. There are several parts that you need to know. Watch this video until the end because there are more detailed moments that made ARMY and the other BTS members agree on why Taehyung and Jungkook's embrace was so emotional. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you're ready to love this moments. Welcome to V Effect. Amid the cheers of thousands of fans filling the stadium, the atmosphere that night felt strikingly different as a gentle melody began to flow, wrapping every corner of the space. The grand arirang concert instantly transformed into what felt like a soundproof chamber, leaving only the emotional vibrations between two souls who had long been the center of the world's attention. On the stage illuminated by dim lights, Taehyung and Jungkook stood side by side, carrying feelings that could no longer be hidden behind the mask of professional idols. The silence that formed between them seemed to speak louder than thousands of words ever written in any song's script. The camera spotlight capturing their every movement revealed just how powerful the energy of love was when their eyes met in the middle of the song. There was no pretense in that gaze, only deep sincerity that had been tested by time and by the storms of an industry that often tried to separate them. When Jungkook began singing the emotional verses, his voice trembled slightly, not from exhaustion, but from overwhelming gratitude for being able to share such an important moment with the person who meant the most to him. Meanwhile, Taehyung watched with admiration, a look that confirmed that for them, the stage was not merely a workplace, but a place to express truth. The soul-stirring climax arrived when the song reached its peak, and the two slowly moved closer to each other without hesitation. In front of millions of eyes watching both live and through screens, the embrace finally happened. A hug that felt protective yet filled with longing. It was not just choreography or a performance demand, but an emotional embrace that seemed to summarize their years of perseverance under the pressure of the world. The entire stadium seemed to hold its breath, witnessing how such immense love could be expressed through a simple yet deeply meaningful gesture. The sincerity of their love on stage that night felt so real that it had an extraordinary impact on the other BTS members watching from the side of the stage. One by one, their fellow members began showing emotional expressions they could not hold back, realizing that what they were witnessing was the manifestation of a sacred bond. Seeing Taehyung and Jungkook strengthen each other within that embrace caused the emotional defenses of the members to crumble instantly. Tears began to fall down their cheeks, not from sadness, but from pride and deep emotion as they watched their younger brothers bravely express such powerful feelings. Jin and RM, who were usually the pillars of strength in the group, were seen wiping their eyes repeatedly, unable to hide the surge of emotions as they watched the scene before them. They knew very well the struggles Taehyung and Jungkook had endured to continue loving and supporting one another under the intense spotlight. The testimony of the members became undeniable proof that the affection between the two figures was sincere and went far beyond ordinary friendship. The arirang stage that night truly became a silent witness to how love could melt the hearts of anyone who saw it. Suga and J-Hope, known for their mental strength, were also unable to hold back their sobs as they saw how tightly Jungkook buried his face into Taehyung's shoulder. They sensed a feeling of relief reflected in the body language of the two, as if a heavy burden they had carried alone for so long had finally lifted when they united. The stage, which was usually a place to showcase technical perfection, transformed that night into an altar of honesty that moved the entire group. Taehyung and Jungkook's courage in showing their vulnerable sides became the greatest strength that united all the members in deep emotional harmony. Jimin, who had always been close to both of them, appeared to be the most touched, his shoulders trembling intensely as he witnessed the legendary embrace. He understood every emotional detail his friends were experiencing, and seeing them finally able to release everything on stage was an incredibly relieving moment. The love they displayed was not only theirs, but became an energy spreading across the stage, uniting the hearts of everyone present. At that moment, there was no longer any barrier between artist and audience, only humanity connected through the pure frequency of love. The miracle of this moment felt even more magical with the accompaniment of music that seemed to understand their emotions, creating perfect synchronization between sound and feeling. Every second of that embrace allowed the audience to feel the depth of sacrifice and loyalty they had cultivated over the years. There was no need for official announcements or poetic words, because their body language had already told everything clearly. The power of Taehyung and Jungkook's love created a new history on stage, where emotional honesty became the true star of the performance. As the song came to an end, the embrace remained for a few more moments, as if they were reluctant to return to the reality of a world full of demands. The world seemed to stop spinning just to give them space to enjoy that peaceful closeness. Tears from the audience in the stadium also began to flow, creating an ocean of emotion never seen before at a K-pop concert. This phenomenon proved that great love has a universal language that can be felt by anyone, regardless of background or language barriers. The performance, titled Hooligan, broadcast exclusively, instantly became a trending topic across social media platforms worldwide. People were not only discussing vocal quality or dance, but the emotional depth displayed by Taehyung and Jungkook that shook hearts everywhere. Many felt that this moment marked a turning point where great love no longer needed to be hidden, but celebrated with pride. Discussions about their courage to love amid adversity became an inspiration for many people around the world. The love they shared proved capable of surpassing all doubts and speculation that had circulated among the public and the media. What appeared on the arirang stage was a truth that could not be debated, an energy so powerful that it brought their fellow group members to tears. The harmony created whenever they stood close to each other offered a sense of security that could not be found anywhere else. For them, each other was home, and the stage that night became their way of inviting the world to witness how beautiful the home they built truly was. Every movement of Taehyung's hand gently stroking Jungkook's back carried the message that he would always be there to protect and support him in every step. In return, Jungkook's firm grip showed how deeply he valued Taehyung's presence in his busy life. They complemented one another in every note sung, creating a symphony of love that fans would remember for generations. This harmony was not only about stunning visuals, but about a soul connection that had been tightly woven since the beginning of their journey. The overwhelming emotion that filled the concert became proof that Taehyung and Jungkook had succeeded in creating a safe space for their love to grow and flourish. Under the immense pressure of popularity, they still managed to keep the flame of affection burning brightly on stage. There was no longer fear of judgment, only the desire to love each other sincerely. This courage was what made the moment at the arirang concert so legendary and destined to be talked about by future generations. As the stage lights slowly dimmed and the concert came to an end, the memory of the embrace and the members' emotional tears remained in the hearts of everyone who witnessed it. They went home carrying warm feelings, realizing that true love does exist and can be found in the most unexpected places. Taehyung and Jungkook had delivered a valuable lesson about loyalty and sacrifice for someone you love. The arirang stage was no longer just a concert venue. It had become a monument of love for two souls who found each other in the vast universe. In the end, the love story of Taehyung and Jungkook captured in that emotional performance would always remain a reminder that great love always finds its way to shine. The tears shed that night stood as witnesses to a struggle that was not in vain, and to a love that would never fade with time. The world may continue to change, but the memory of that embrace on stage would remain eternal, proof that their love was indeed powerful and real. They were two stars that shone brightest when together, illuminating the darkness with the sincere light of love that warmed every heart. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.